You better run, you better run, 'cause we're born to lead, born to lead. You better run, 'cause we're born to lead, born to lead.
EA, this ain't the first, the second, or fuck the 15,000,000th time I've said this. But what the fuck? Was this game necessary? Did it need to happen? Was there some darksome chapter of your lack-a-day lives where you actually found yourselves transfixed and bewildered by a morbid preoccupation with the fact that the world suffered from an appalling lack of exploitative spin-offs of a once-beloved series? What's the matter, Sugar Knob? Land Before Time 25 not doing it for you? I mean, I get that you're a capitalist endeavor, albeit with a development staffed by rainbow-coiffed cunt-flaps who describe themselves as anything but far be it from me to criticize a coterie of Canadians for turning a purple dollar. Mass Effect 3 was a decuman disappointment. A game whose earth-splitting plummet from grace was surpassed only by the rolling hills of hype we circumnavigated during the preamble. And while there was an assfuck of a lot more wrong with the game than merely a subpar payoff, I'd have to check the fuck out of reality not to note the color-coded conclusion, purportedly ameliorated via DLC to include the addition of yet another fucking color, accounted for ample assloads of acrimony directed at what the preemies in the press rather generously described as a game, all while handing out more tens and 100s than the Monopoly man rolling on ecstasy. So here's a Category 5 fucking brainstorm. What the fuck if we take the hipster hack responsible for the typhoon of tism that was the Mass Effect 3 ending and, wait for it, making the grand poobah of the whole fucking studio?
We're fucked! We're fucked!
No hate. A little optimism in these cynical times, please. After all, Mac Walters also wrote some of the better material of the second Mass Effect.
This game is going to be more blank than fans expect.
More bigger, more bigger, more bigger.
Oh, sweet Virgin Mary, we're fucked. To its credit, from additional roleplay elements to added mobility and player customization, Andromeda does solve many of the problems with the Mass Effect IP. What it doesn't fix are the problems with the Dragon Age Inquisition game it is profoundly fucking patterned after. Oh, you might break a saucy wet wind to the prospect of closing Inquisition portals from now to the next Ice Age, but what if, and just bear the fuck with me here, we replace the portals with an endless procession of meaningless space artifacts? Let not the lung-collapsing hilarity of the animations deceive you, Rageaholics. Perhaps more than any other single aspect, what Mass Effect Andromeda terminally lacks is style. This is a series crafted in breathless homage to sci-fi films of the late 70s and early 80s. For fuck's sake, the first game had a fucking film grain filter. Point being, it was envisioned as a digital doppelganger to the likes of Alien, Blade Runner, and The Empire Strikes Back. So BioWare, with the doctors that generated the original concept having long since departed in disdain, one of whom now literally gets shit-faced for a living, can you understand how longtime fans might find themselves aggrieved when instead of scoring space slashes Han Solo, we're bumble fucking about as Ugly Betty? Diversity's just dandy. Single action, double action, 32 and 45 alike. Taste the fucking rainbow, my friend. But can someone illustrate the abiding merits of this mandatory representation horseshit to me? Well, you see, if the character on the screen doesn't look like the person holding the controller, then sexist, ableist, misandry. Ooh, look at lens flare. Really, hipsterella? Because despite my vaginal deficit, I'm perfectly content point and clicking my pert ass through the longest journey in Dreamfall. I mean, why the fuck can't Blueberry Bangs over there shudder or Shrillbox for 5 fucking minutes about Doom Guy's dong? Well, actually, the wider the audience we represent, the wider the audience we can sell to. Oh? Because I seem to recall Westerns being bigger than BJ's with an audience that looked nothing the fuck like Clint Eastwood in the 60s. And don't give me that media normative misogyny rigmarole. There wasn't a broad with a bouffant and a 9-block radius whose hoo-hoo wasn't a humidor at the merest sight of old craggy-faced Clint. And if the goal is a more realistic representation of your daily life, may I humbly submit that if I sallied forth into the urban ether and had the misfortune to encounter one of these blue-haired burn victims in daily life, I'd assemble the villagers and drive it back into the Black Lagoon. I'm not saying Sarah Ryder is ugly, but actually, fuck it, that's exactly what I'm saying. This bitch is so busted her cryo chamber has tinted windows. And really? Sarah Ryder? I thought Mac Walters was shitting me when he called the game softcore porn. I didn't know I'd have to pay $9.95 an hour to say my character's fucking name. Sarah Ryder. What's the matter, Walters? Slotto von Jizmark was already taken? And good luck Googling Scott Ryder without the family filter enabled, by the way. You'd see fewer hairy assholes watching Russell Brand tweeze his pubes in a hall of mirrors. And how about them Animations, huh? Nothing says cybernetic space opera quite like mud crabbing across the mess hall like you got 11 pounds of Indian food in your undies. Who knew they had Arby's in space?
Yeah, the cat digs me. Waitress, what did he order?
Oh, he had a special.
That's what I ordered.
Don't touch him, he's got my eyes!
But it's not even about the glassy-eyed Gabifian, the Nightcrawler teleportation powers, or the sensationally symbolic backwards fucking guns. Although I could belly laugh hysterically for 17 uninterrupted minutes about that alone. It's about how it affects gameplay in practical, functional terms. How the mere act of turning the fuck around degenerates into my player character locking into a sluggish, prefabbed animation loop no less than a second and a half in duration, or how 20 plus hours of gameplay later, the cocksucking cover system was never once in danger of feeling fucking right. But hey, jetpacks, right? Because I know when I was ringing out my laundry list of most desperately needed features after the protracted goat fuck that was Mass Effect 3, just after actual role-playing and a control setup that doesn't bind 7 functions to the same butt-fucking button, my longest abiding aspiration was to pretend I'm the fucking Spocketeer. And what would a latter-day role-playing piss take be without changing classes on the fly? Who needs to feel indefatigably unique as their inimitably customized characters careen across the galaxy when you can be bottlenecked like a bitch into the same 4 phylums of fail? Worked like a dream in Final Fantasy 15, if by dream you mean smack hallucination. Remember the fucking wave pools of water cooler conversation following the original Mass Effect? Hey, I just killed a bunch of space shitbags and saved the hostages. That's funny, because I Jedi mind tricked the titwank into freeing the hostages by devoting 7 septillion points to Paragon. Yeah? Well, I fucked a Volus. And on, and on, and on the fuck on. I mean, have you read any of the 5 remaining Andromeda circle jerks on the internet? Fuck, hey guys, I wasted those space pirates. Swell! So did I! Neat! I did too! Only sarcastic. Never mind video games, Mass Effect Andromeda features the worst voice acting you will hear in any medium, in any context, any fucking where. You can howl hyperbole all you fucking want. Jill Sandwich ain't got shit on my face is tired, lisping effeminate Krogans, and whatever the front flippin' fuck this is supposed to be.
You have no idea how much your arrival means to us.
Our futures depend on each other's success.
Which brings me to perhaps the most egregious affront for a series that so centrally spotlights the goddamn dialogue. Paragon and fucking Renegade. What the righteous shit were you thinking? On the surface, eliminating Paragon and Renegade responses should be a banality obliterating innovation, shattering the manacles of binary morality for a more nuanced and variegated narrative. In actuality, the difference between formal and informal responses amounts to fuck you and fuck you, sir. The abolition of the Paragon Renegade byplay, instead of facilitating immersion variety, leaves the player with fewer options than Sterling at a salad bar, V-necking the narrative into a single fucking choice, leaving the player with precisely one option: to deliver said dialogue as either a snarky hipster dick knob or a solemn sententious stick in the ass. If Until Yawn featured a narrative butterfly effect, Andromeda is a fucking caterpillar, the nascent genesis of a fucking fork in the road that never goddamn gets there. But hey, at least even post-patch, the game is still busted to the point of bifurcation. The original Mass Effect was flambéed the fucking effigy for texture popping between scenes. Mass Effect Andromeda has texture popping between camera shots. It's a small wonder then that given both the critical and commercial backlash, this side series has now reputedly been put on hold. Fingers crossed that's French-Canadian for mercilessly fucking shit-canned. If this is indeed a hold, let's make it a Microsoft tech support hold. The kind that after enduring 17 hours of smooth jazz ends with some outsourced asshat from cheap as fuckistan troubleshooting with a fucking dial tone. I'm Razor Fist God. Fucking speed.
Trouble, then you bargain for. You gotta give me more. It ain't no lie.